This is Brandon Curry in Richburg, and we're here tonight at Olympus Athletics in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We're about to train back 4 weeks out from the Arnold Classic. Not much to do left but get it done.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, today we started off with a traditional warm-up with pull-ups, body weight. I believe we did about 4 sets just to kind of get the lats and everything activated. I like doing body weight exercises when I'm fresh versus when I'm not. So pull-ups is one of the my traditional kind of get my body ready to train back. So we hit those, knocked those out, and then we moved on to some serious. The next exercise is a major exercise, T-bar row. We try to go as heavy as possible for the day while using good form. We worked up to about, I guess I had 7 plates on the bar, and it was definitely a heavy load. And it's just basically one of the money makers of the workout. Really, I like doing the T-bar row simply because it kind of reminds me a lot of the deadlift, the way it feels, except I get a lot more back activation out of the T-bar row versus the deadlift. So when I'm not deadlifting a workout, I'll definitely use a heavy T-bar row to kind of give me that deadlift feel. Next, we moved on to the low pulley row position. Basically, another money-making exercise. I felt like, working on more thickness, making sure the mid-back and everything was really fatigued before moving on. And worked up pretty heavy. I didn't really use the stack because it wasn't necessary today, but I got some good work in, good range of motion, good stretch in that movement. After working a couple exercises for thickness, I had to go back and hit the lats and give those other muscle groups a little bit of rest. So we did a behind the neck pull down, which I think is just kind of reminds me of a back double bicep pose. That exercise I focus on more on holding the contraction and feeling that movement versus how much I'm actually lifting. Well, being a little under, I guess a few days under 4 weeks out now, the dieting is getting a little bit stricter. This week, I noticed that we start taking more chicken meals out and replacing with more fish. So I know I'm getting closer when I start eating more and more fish meals. Carbs are dropping a little bit lower. So energy levels and strength levels are going to be going down. So what I'll probably do for this extended phase for the rest of my prep is I add more volume at a moderate intensity by doing supersets and giant sets, adding some drop sets in there so I can get the work done where I can't put the intensity in. The next exercise for us was basically we just switched from behind to in front of the neck. But we used a different variation to get more range of motion. We used like a shoulder width grip, allowing me to get a lot deeper because I can get my elbows farther back behind me. So it's coming like nipple line almost, I guess, with the bar and really coming up for a good stretch. I just, sometimes I use a wide grip variation, but sometimes I use that variation just so I can get more range of motion. It's a lot harder, so I have to use a lot less weight. So it's more of a feel movement as well. I felt like after we finished the lat pull down, that I need to hit the lats a little bit more. So we went with a wide grip stiff arm pull down at the very same exercise. Just finish off the lats in a different position and working on that kind of like that, I guess the bottom range of motion for that pull down position. And it's just basically just making sure that the lats were full, pumped, and fatigued. I see some of the greats like Victor Martinez do the exercise a lot, so I kind of focus on visualizing kind of that V taper he has in his back, and I think that's one of the exercises he uses religiously. So I added it to my arsenal for today. All right, after working several width exercises, moved back to some thickness, and we went over to a chest-supported T-bar with a close grip. I really found this exercise a couple weeks ago, and I've loved it ever since because it kind of takes the lats out of the movement and exclusively moves it into the rhomboids. For some reason in that position, you can't use your arms, you can't use anything, but you just retract those shoulder blades together and really pull with the mid-back. So it's a great exercise for isolation purposes and finishing off those rhomboids and those lower traps. Is that enough noise for you? As if we hadn't had enough for the day, I think that was like 7 exercises. We moved on to the 8th. And just the finishing movement, I used a low pulley standing rope row. And basically, I was pulling that rope and kind of separating and hitting those the lower fibers in the lower back and the lower lats. Just trying to get a good stretch, trying to make sure the whole back is fatigued. And I know at that point I wasn't having a lot of feeling in that movement, so my back was pretty much done for the day. Well, I'd like to give my shout outs and my thank yous. And first of all, I'd like to thank Steve Blackman, Muscular Development Magazine, muscledevelopment.com, the crew over there. Y'all really do a great job. And you definitely keep this sport in the loop and give us a new way of kind of looking at and keeping track of everything that's going on in the industry. And I really appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to Olympus Gym, Sean Barber, for allowing us to shoot here again, holding us down. Even though we were in peak hours here, we were able to get the music down and able to have the freedom to move around this place as we saw fit. I'd like to thank my wife for coming in and supporting and helping me out when I needed to be during this prep. I'd like to thank Adam for taking the time to come out and film for me, really being a great support to me during this prep. Of course, I thank the fans and thank all you guys that are following what's going on and following the Honor Classic.